So I was at an event yesterday, Cloud Growth Conference, and we had a speaker who was to speak on the subject of building wealth, of earning income, and just increasing your income and all of that. And he shared some things that were very profound, but there was one slide right in his presentation slide that I had to snap because I knew that I have to talk about this on this channel and just share my perspective on them based on my own experience as a 22-year-old who started making money at 16, and I've learned so many things, and I just want to share 13 principles to building real wealth. But first, my name is Inilu Amubolonduro, and I'm 22. I started making money when I was 16, and right from that 16, 17, I've been consciously building a life of impact, of income, and of influence. And on this channel, I'm documenting my journey, documenting my progress, documenting my stories, and hoping that these videos are also going to inspire thousands of young persons like you to be intentional with building real wealth very young, and also build a life of impact and influence. And by the way, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. I drop videos like this from time to time, drop different things, my stories, my experiences since I'm learning, and just my journey. And I'm sure there are videos that you will love to watch if you're a young person. So let's get right into it. The first principle here, 13 principles to building real wealth. I'm going to try not to talk too long on each of the principles. I do so that this video doesn't get too long, right? So the first one here is own assets. Build assets that appreciate and produce income. Own assets. Build assets that appreciate and produce income. It was early this year. Now, it was in 2023 that I tried buying stocks for the very first time. Very, very first time in my life. But I didn't really understand it, and at that point in time there was not so much pressure on me to want to like really learn about it. So it wasn't until this year, January, specifically it was December 30th last year, 2025, December 30th, 31st. That was when I decided to buy like my first stocks. And between January this year and this time, I have built my investment portfolio, my stock investment portfolio, to like over £1 million. I did this in 6 months, right? For some times now, I've not actually been adding more stocks because I just wanted to build it to a reasonable to 7 figures. Then I can now focus on investing in other things. But what I'm trying to say in essence is that own assets. Stocks, for example, now they are like assets. Why? Because they appreciate. Remember I said build asset that appreciate and produce income, right? So stocks, for example, now appreciate over time. They appreciate over time. And for example, now the shares I bought, I think I bought MTN shares in January for about 500 naira per share, and now I think it's currently around 800, 900 per share. It means it has appreciated over time. So buy stocks. I recommend buying stocks, but ensure that you do a lot of research, right? Don't just buy stock randomly. I recommend that you do a lot of research before buying the stocks or the shares of any company. I think I have another video on this, and I'm just going to attach it somewhere here in case you missed that. The second one I have here is, and let me say this, stocks is not the only asset, right? I remember when the speaker was talking yesterday, he mentioned real estate, right? He mentioned how even cow, he bought cow, he spent 80,000 rand to buy, I think, about some cows, right? This was like some years ago, like some years ago, he spent 80k, and now one cow, it's about 1 million plus, around 1 million naira, right? And I think he said he had about maybe 6 cows or something. That is an asset. At that particular point that he bought it for 80k, or he bought them for 80k, and now one car has appreciated to 1 million. So its income has increased, the asset has appreciated in value. So stocks is not the only asset. That's just the point I'm trying to make. Stocks is not the only asset. Real estate is also another asset that you can buy, and there are just so many assets, right, that can't mention everything in this video. The second principle here is cash flow is king. Cash flow is king. Prioritize cash flow over income for financial freedom. Cash flow. What do we mean when we say cash flow, right? I personally, this is like the state I'm in currently in my life. I do not just want income. And when I say income now in this context, I mean income, let's say that comes just once in a while, right? Income that comes maybe like once in a month, maybe like twice in a month, maybe like once in 2 weeks. Like, I want cash flow. When we talk about cash flow, I think I use an example at FSB 2.0 trying to describe cash flow. I said cash flow, just like it is from two words, right? It's a combination of two words, cash and flow. And when we talk about water, for example, now we do not say water move, we say water flows. And when you talk about that flowing, it means that it is consistent, right? That is one thing. When you talk about what are the characteristics of any flowing substance, right? One thing that you know is that you can't say water moves, because one water moves like, how do I explain this? One pieces of water do not move. Maybe I can put it that way. Like, it moves in like, um it moves together. Let me just put it that way, right? Every molecule of water, before you can say that water flows, right, or talk about that flow in water, every molecule moves together. They move together, right, for it to be flow. And they do that consistently. One is not here and then another year. Like, it moves together. So that consistency is one major characteristic of anything that flows. So when we talk about cash flow in this context, it's like money coming in every day, right? What structures can you put in place in your life? Principles of building real wealth. What structures can you put in your life where every single day money flows in, right? Money comes in. There's an inflow of cash. What systems can you put in place? What principles, what system is the best word. What structures can you put in place that can guarantee that every single day of your life, whether actively or passively, income flows in? That is another principle to building real wealth. Cash flow is king. So prioritize cash flow to money. I'm still working on this in my life. This is not something I've achieved yet. Building to this point, right? But then understand that for you to build real wealth, cash flow is king. And so you want to prioritize cash flow rather than just income that comes occasionally. Compound consistently. Small consistent actions create massive results. Compound consistently, right? A good example of compounding, for example, now would be, let's say, the stocks, right? Or just investing in stocks, maybe like investment generally, right? So for example, now the way the stock market works is, for example, now I have not withdraw any money, I have not sold any of my shares since I got them, right? I'm just using shares as example. I've not sold any of my shares since I bought them in January. And every single month, almost every month, I've been making interest on my stocks, right? And so I can decide to sell it now and just get the money. But the difference between just investing and align your investment to compound now is that the interest I'm making from those shares, right? Those interests are going back, right? They are like, it's like the interest is compounding. The interest becomes the capital, or it combines with the capital, and then there is now a new interest again which combines with the capital, and then there's now a new. So gradually there is compounding happening, and it is happening automatically because I am not withdrawing my interest. I am not withdrawing the money I'm making. I can decide, let's say maybe after January, for example, now in February I can decide to withdraw the interest I made from, let's say, one of the stocks. I don't want to mention name, but like one of the stocks I bought. Let's say I have like 100k interest. Maybe I spend, let's say, 500k buying shares of a company, and then maybe in February, that's in January, in February, and I get like 100k additional. That 100k is my interest. I can decide to withdraw it, but if I do not withdraw it, what eventually happens is that the 100k now becomes a part of the capital, which then brings about new interest again. So gradually compound, and in mathematics or economics there's something called compound interest. That is where it comes from actually. So ensure that you compound consistently, right? Let your interest, the one from shares is just an example, it's applicable to other forms of investment. We are talking about principles to building real wealth. Think long term. Wealth is built over years, not overnight. That is one thing you need to know, that it takes time. This is one thing I had settled within my mind. The moment I decided to be more serious with my wealth building journey, I knew that this thing is not a one time thing. This thing is not something that happens overnight. It takes years, not just time, right? Because when I say it takes time now, in your head you may be thinking it takes 1 week, it takes 1 month, it takes 1 year. I'm saying it takes years. I settled it within my mind before I bought my first stock, my first shares, or my first stock, that I'm not going to withdraw the money. Like, I'm not going to withdraw that money until at least 3 years, right? So I am not pressured. Okay, things are coming down. Maybe the market is falling. The market is crashing. Stocks are. That one does not concern me. I don't even check it often, right? Okay, now today I checked it, but I can't remember the last time I checked it before today. Like, check my portfolio, right? My investment. I can't remember the last time. I don't check it every time. I don't even follow up with. I don't follow up with like update every day, because okay, my shares. The moment I decided to invest in the market, I settled it within my mind that this thing will take time, and so I am not in a hurry. I'm not pressured to, okay, how much has he make now, how much interest has he make now, because the moment you start doing that, you put yourself under unnecessary pressure. And then when there is now, let's say, pullback in the market, maybe some stocks are crashing, and maybe due to whatever, right, you now start fidgeting, and then you now decide that, okay, let me withdraw this thing, and then let me put it back. And the moment you now withdraw it, you will now become, you now see that your portfolio goes down, you now become discouraged. You do not want to put yourself in that kind of situation, so just leave it, right? Just set it within your mind that this thing will take time. The moment you know that it will take time, accept that it will take time, and then settle it within your mind that this thing will take time. You've won part of the battle. Because if you are going to build real wealth, it will take time, and this is something you need to settle within your mind. The next one here, which is the fifth one, is invest in yourself. Let me tell you something. The best investment is not investing in stocks. The best investment is not investing in real estate. The best investment is investing in yourself. In fact, many times it is the investment you've made in yourself that will make it possible for you to build income, and then eventually decide to like build wealth. So when you talk about the journey of building wealth, it starts first with yourself, investing in yourself, investing in your mind, reading books, right? Learning about, okay, how can I build wealth? What When you are watching this video, for example, now, so watching this video, what you are doing is that you're also investing in yourself. You are investing in knowledge, right? And that is a part of investing in yourself. So invest in yourself. Your skills and knowledge are high return assets, right? So when we're talking about assets earlier, that own asset, understand that knowledge is an asset. You can leverage on the knowledge you have and use it to increase your income and build wealth. So your knowledge, your skills are assets. I wanted to mention it earlier, but I knew that we're coming here. Invest in yourself. This is like the greatest investment. Not investment in stocks, not investment in real estate, not investment in landed properties, not investment in whatever you may think it is, not investment in gadget. It is investment in yourself. Invest in skills, learn skills, right? Constantly update your knowledge, constantly read books, constantly expose yourself to the transformation that comes from knowledge. That is the next one. The sixth point I have here is leverage wisely, right? Use other people's money to accelerate growth. This is something that I'm happy I started doing this year. This is something I'm happy I started doing this year, like leveraging people's time, right? So, for example, now in January, I had one of the guys that currently still works for me, and this is like one of the best moves I'm happy I made this year. I think it was in March. I added another hire, right? I added like two guys were working for me, and this is like one of the best moves again that I'm sure I made this year, right? So as much as personally, initially it was a struggle for me because one, I did not want to like spend money, a lot of money trying to hire people. Then another thing is that there was a level of perfection that I would usually try to achieve with my works and everything, and I wasn't sure if someone else would be able to achieve that and everything. But I'm happy I decided to just hire someone because it made it easier for me to focus on other things while ensuring that the income still consistently comes in. The money still consistently comes in. See, Dangote, as big as Dangote is, Elon Musk is, he's not the one working for his money directly, right? He's leveraging people's time, he's leveraging human resources, right? He's leveraging their time to make money. So he's building real wealth, but then he cannot do everything by himself, right? And so he leverages other people's time, other people's resources to be able to build that wealth. So leverage wisely. This is like one of the best moves you are going to make when you are trying to build wealth. Leverage, right? The moment you get to the point leverage, it will save you so much time, it will save you so much, right? The next one is manage risk, protect your capital and avoid unnecessary losses. As much as possible, manage risk, right? This is why research is very important. For example, now when I mentioned earlier that you don't just go trying to buy stocks and just buy any stock, no, right? You have to be very intentional about your investment journey, right? You have to be very intentional when it comes to building real wealth. And so ensure that you manage your risk, do your research. Okay, this particular thing, okay, this particular shares, for example, or this particular property, I cannot buy it because it's in this place, and there's no possibility that okay, this would eventually yield good profit. Okay, you need to analyze, right? You need to learn how to analyze your decisions, right? Analyze before you just decide, right? Do your analysis. Okay, this if I do this and do that, what is the expected, like what is the probability, right? This is why you were taught probability in school. Do your probability, calculate it. Okay, if I do this and do this, what are the chances that this thing would eventually yield this? Oh, the chances are low, there's no point. There are some other things you are going to invest your time and attention in that the chances are high. It doesn't still automatically mean that those things will work, but then you know that okay, you are not investing blindly, you are not doing it blindly, you are being careful, you are doing your analysis, you are not just doing it because everybody's also doing it, right? That way you are going to be able to manage your losses, and you are going to reduce the potential of having so much losses, and that way you are going to be able to manage your risk. The eighth one I have here is live below your means. This is very important. Right from when I started making money at 16, one thing I'm happy that I never fell into one trap was the trap of trying to live above my means. Maybe because I started earning more money, maybe because I started doing a bit where even till this year, right? Even till last year that okay, I started really making a good sum of money every month, right? I go start working with amazing clients and everything. I still did not raise the standard of my living. The only thing that it seemed like okay, I raised and maybe it went up was my gadget. Okay, I bought an iPhone, I got my laptop, I got the camera I'm currently recording with, and these things are still investment, especially the camera and the PC. they are still investment because I'm trying to ensure that I am able to improve the quality of my work, right? The reason why this video is going to be really clear as I'm watching it is because I'm using a camera. The camera is expensive, yes, it is, but then I'm using a camera, and so I'm able to produce high quality work that is going to attract better attention and is going to just project my authority. At least I'm growing. It's very important that I also invest in gadgets. See, this is also part of investment, right? But then it's not like I suddenly now started trying to prove that I have money, trying to splash money anyhow, buying things that I know that I don't need or things that I know I won't use, doing this and doing that and just spending money anyhow. This is something that I've never done, right? Of course, I improve myself. I ensure that as I'm earning more money, I get better. I look more presentable. I like, at least I just increase my, like, increase a bit, just improve the quality of my life. But then I'm not living above my means. This is something that a lot of young people do, and you would never really be able to build real wealth if you would constantly live above your means, if you would keep living above your means, if you would live above your means, right? Because what that would do is that it will make it difficult for you to grow, because the money that you would maybe have invested in something profitable, you are using it to try to live above your means, trying to impress people that don't care about you, trying to just live a life that will appeal to the gram, that will appeal to people that don't even know you, that you don't even know in person. Ensure that you do not live above your means, especially when you start earning more money. Don't be pressured to now automatically just skyrocket the quality of your life. Build gradually, grow small small, grow small small, right? Just build gradually, do not jump. Build gradually. The ninth point here is focus on value, right? Provide value, solve problems, and wealth will follow. Money follows in the direction of value. And if you were at FSVE 2.0, right, this is something that you would remember I mentioned a lot and a lot. In case you missed FSVE, the playlist is on this channel. Just go to the playlist tab on this Journey with Iniski channel. You are going to see the sessions, right? It was a 7 day event and it was packed. I mentioned this a lot. Focus on value. Money flows in the direction of value. And wealth, if money flows in the direction of value, it means wealth flows in the direction of value, because there's no wealth without money, right? As much as wealth is not only about money, there's still no wealth without money. The 10th point I have here is diversify intelligently. This is very important, very very important. As you start making money, ensure that you diversify. Okay, I told you guys that earlier on I invested in the stock market. I bought some stocks, but now I'm considering diversifying into buying other things, right? Not just keep accumulating stocks and accumulating stocks. For example, now, like I mentioned, the speaker yesterday mentioned that I bought cow. He mentioned that recently he bought some pigs. He mentioned that he invests in stock market. He mentioned that he invests in landed. In fact, he's a real estate mogul, right? He's a great guy. He's a founder of a real estate company. I'm saying that this man, you can literally see that this man has diversified in his income, right? His investment. He's not just investing in one thing, as much as he's a real estate founder, he's still intelligent enough to know that, okay, let me invest in other things, right? Let me invest in other things. Let me invest in this. Let me invest in that. Let me invest here. Because again, diversification can be a good way to also manage your risk. So that, let's say for example now the stock market is down, every stock is going down. At least you have cow, right? You have the cow that, okay, you bought, and now the price, the value has increased over the years. Or you have the land that you bought, right, that will keep appreciating. So you, that way you're able to manage your risk instead of putting all your income in one thing. So diversify intelligently, spread risk across assets and income streams. Very important. The 11th one I have here is that be patient. Be patient. This is very important. And I'm not going to spend so so long on this, because I mentioned this earlier, that you have to be patient. You are thinking long term. This is very similar to that point. You are thinking long term, and so when you start thinking long term and just ensuring that whatever you are doing, you will have it in your mind that this thing It's not overnight. This thing will take years. It helps you to be patient, because patience is very important when it comes to building real wealth. Building wealth is different from making money. It's different um from earning income. It is totally different. If you would be able to effectively build wealth and real wealth, it will take time. Trust me. And so you have to be patient. The 12th point I have here is stay financially literate. This is very important. Stay financially literate. Always update your knowledge. Update your knowledge. What is happening? Okay, what are the opportunities that are now available? Oh, wow, okay, there's this opportunity to invest, there's this opportunity to make money, more money, there's this thing I can do to upskill myself, and that will help me potentially be able to make more money. Oh, there's that thing, there's constantly update your knowledge, right? Be financially literate. That way you are able to quickly grab opportunities when they present themselves, and you are able to know what direction to follow when it comes to making more money, when it comes to investing, when it comes to just things that are going to help you build wealth. The 13th point is build multiple income streams. Don't rely on a single source of income. This is very, very important. I was watching a video on TikTok from Miss Nimedia, I think some days back, in case you know her, but that's her name, Miss Nimedia. And I remember she was talking about the fact that income streams are different from income sources. Maybe in another video I might talk more on that, right? But understand that when we talk about income sources, like here, or income streams, I have multiple income streams. For example, now I am a graphic designer. I make money, right? I have a design channel with 16,000 subscribers, so the channel make me money, right? Even though it's small, but then it makes me money. So that's an income stream, right? From my graphic design skill or my graphic design knowledge. I also design for clients. That's another stream from the same income source, right? I also teach, right? I used to teach. I have courses. In fact, someone just bought my course, right? I just got a notification recently that someone got my course from Nestage. I can't find notification here now, but I got it like recently that someone bought my course from Nestage. I just got a mail right from Nestage. So I have courses. There was a time I used to teach, so I have like different income streams from the same income source, which is graphic design, right? But then again, you can now have different income sources. For example, now YouTube is one of my income source. My service is my income source. I also have like a couple. I have like audience online, so I can take brand partnerships. That's also another income source, right? YouTube, graphic design, my influence online, my following online. All of those could be like different income sources. So build multiple income streams. There is no this is like the 13th point, and I said it's supposed to be 14, but the last one here is not visible, but I'm going to add one before I wrap up, and that is build your network. You cannot build real wealth in isolation. Check wealthy people. You realize that they are not wealthy all by themselves. They are not wealthy just because, okay, it is only me. You cannot be wealthy in isolation. Really, you cannot be wealthy in isolation. And so if there's going to be a 14th point that I'm going to add, is going to be that build your network, right? Because real wealth again is not only about the money you have, it's about the network you also have, right? In case, because if something happens to your income sources now, who can you reach out to? So understand that when it comes to building real wealth, your network is also very important. Let me know if this video helps you in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to share this video with a young person. I'm going to see you in the next one.